Hello, my name's Eric Dubay. I'm a 35-year-old American living in Thailand. I'm a published author of 5 books, a musician, and a teacher of yoga and Wing Chun. In my early 20s, I discovered the existence of a worldwide conspiracy known as the New World Order, perpetrated by a bunch of secretive groups such as the Freemasons, the Zionists, the Jesuits, and other such shady, powerful organizations. In 2007, I began doing online activism on sites like AboveTopSecret.com, PrisonPlanet.com, and DavidIke.com, all of which I've now been banned from for posting material against their controlled opposition narrative. Also in 2007, I began writing my first non-fiction book, The Atlantean Conspiracy, an encyclopedia of various conspiracies and the evidence for them. In that book, published in 2008, there's a chapter on geocentricity, or geocentrism, the idea that Earth is the motionless center of the universe around which the sun, moon, and stars all revolve. I even quoted Charles Johnson, the president of the International Flat Earth Society, in that book. In 2009, after reading Samuel Rowbotham's Earth Not a Globe book and William Carpenter's 100 Proofs Earth is Not a Globe, I sent an email to Alex Jones because he'd been interviewing several NASA astronauts and praising them up and down, calling them heroes, and barely even touching on the reams of evidence that all of the moon landings were hoaxed on Earth.
Fake, I tell you.
Alex's producer, Rob Dew, got back to me and said he would run it by Alex. I sent Alex a link to Samuel Rowbotham's book and recommended that he have Joe Rogan, me, or someone else on who knew about the moon landing hoax. Rob Dew nor Alex ever got back to me, but the next week on air, Alex mentioned my website and book, The Atlantean Conspiracy, and called me a flat earther, saying,
All right, guys. For the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a series on this guy, Eric Dubay. And I was trying to figure out a way to get out of it because, quite frankly, I find him childish. He has a level of scientific illiteracy that is astronomical in size. I honestly have no idea whether or not he's just doing this for money or he's really just that stupid. So rather than do another 12 episodes on this to finish off that 34 proofs interview, I was actually going to move on to somebody else once I figured out a way to get out of this. Well, I found it. This is an interview or a video that came out just a few days ago that is true Eric Dubay. And I really think that this is what I'm going to finish up with. I'm going to complete this entire interview in one sitting. And then I'm going to go back and edit it into bite-sized pieces and make this the finishing cap of the series that I'm doing. So let's cue up the music and see where it goes from here.
I have been contacted by some flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some sort of Atlantean conspiracy.
The Earth being flat, that's clearly ridiculous. Though I've actually been contacted by some flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some Atlantean conspiracy.
I mention this timeline because It is now often alleged that I am some sort of shill or controlled opposition myself who has hijacked the flat earth narrative. People like Matthew Boylan, Mark Sargent, Paul Michael Bales, etc.
No, I'd say based on that one image that you just put up there, that you are an anti-Semitic racist fuck. But that's just me.
Claim that they were the originators of the modern flat earth movement and that I have stolen or plagiarized their work. Quite to the contrary, I have provably been putting out geocentric and flat earth material since before any of these people.
No, you stole Robotin's work. Basically, you read it word for word, typos and all. I have yet to find an original thought that you have put out that wasn't already in those books.
Not that it's a competition, but having been lied about so often regarding this issue, I feel the need to set it straight. So after 2009, I began researching flat earth much deeper. Found the books of Gerard Hickson, Gabrielle Henriette, David Wardlaw Scott, Thomas Winship, and many other knowledgeable flat earthers. I began to form an understanding and wanted to write my own book and make it.
Well, writing a book on the flat earth is pretty easy. You just make stuff up as you go. And I find your characterization of these books as understanding in science rather disturbing.
Documentary on the subject. Now, if you look at Google Trends, the term flat earth hasn't seen any sort of rise in the past decade until November 2014, which is the exact month which I released my The Flat Earth Conspiracy book and documentary and began doing interviews. This is the first pro-flat earth book written in 50 years, and in Google Trends you can see a parabolic curve starting at November 2014 for people looking into the term flat earth.
Yes, it all
Before
comes
November
right down to you, Eric.
2014, if you typed flat earth into Google, you got hundreds, not thousands, not tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, not millions like now, only a few years later, but hundreds of results. And most of the results were the Flat Earth Society, which is a satirical, comical, controlled opposition, Freemasonic website, forced to the top, even today, to the top of Google searches. A site that purports false flat earth arguments which no genuine, legitimate flat earther believes in, such as gravity exists, but the flat earth disk constantly rises to account for the effects of it.
You know, I think you're missing the point of the Flat Earth Society here. They are a satirical society that is a joke. Because Eric, Flat Earth is a joke. People find it funny. It is amusing. It amuses me. So don't get all holier than thou over a comedian, okay?
No flat earther actually believes this, but by putting it on the first page of a Google search, the Flat Earth Society, when people start to look into the subject, they see such ridiculous answers and are instantly turned off. And that's the whole point of controlled opposition and the Flat Earth Society. So I have a unique perspective because I've been researching Flat Earth since before it was popular, and there was barely any information about it on the internet whatsoever.
Yeah, Eric,
So when
just you.
people say flat earth is a psyop, it's a controlled rollout, man. The government is releasing the flat earth. The Illuminati wants you talking about flat earth. To me, it's ridiculous because I'm the one that rolled it out. And regardless of various accusations, I am not a Freemason or working for the government or undercover Illuminati. I'm just
No, I think you're just kind of a zealot that was looking for a Google trend that you could manipulate for money. That's what I think. And whether or not you believe the earth is flat, I honestly don't know. But what you're doing is certainly not science. You basically are repeating almost word for word a book that was written in the 1860s. You found your niche, Eric. That's all you did.
A normal guy that discovered an extraordinary conspiracy, and for over a decade now has been doing my damnedest to expose it. So Flat Earth is not a psyop. Flat Earth is not a controlled rollout. The globe is the psyop. The globe has been the 500-year controlled rollout.
Actually, no, the globe goes back about 2,500 years. No, it's not a psyop. It's not a program of the Freemasons or the Illuminati. It is a mass movement or a cult. And you have manipulated it very well. I suggest that you read a book by Eric Hoffer about mass movements. But then again, I suspect you probably already have.
And how do I know they don't want you to know about Flat Earth? Because of everything that has happened since November 2014. There has been a controlled rollout. There has been a Flat Earth psyop. But it's not that the Earth isn't flat. It's that not everyone who claims to be a flat earther is actually a genuine truth seeker. Since
Oh, this ought to be good.
there have been a whole host of new flat earth conspiracy figureheads on YouTube and on other websites who are now setting up Patreons and GoFundMes and making lots of money, super chat, monetized YouTube accounts and whatnot, setting up Flat Earth international conferences in America, the UK, and New Zealand, doing television interviews, international radio interviews. But not me. I haven't been on international television or behind any international conferences. There's been this whole new group of.
Oh, so Owen Benjamin wasn't going to debate you? You weren't feeding him information? Yeah, this is interesting, Eric.
Flat earthers over the past 3 years who have shown up. Many of them are genuine, great people, and many of them are beyond questionable. As you can imagine, when exposing a 500-year running conspiracy involving the NASA, the UN, and World Freemasonry.
NASA, the UN, and World Freemasonry has been around for 500 years. I think the oldest is probably the Masons, and I think they go back to about the 18th century.
There's going to be death threats, which I receive regularly, and controlled opposition agents will be sent in to infiltrate and co-opt the growing movement. I'm doing this podcast to expose the evidence I've compiled that several such government shills are currently hard at work doing just that.
Well, guys, I think that's a really good start to the finishing of our episode and series on Eric Dubay. This is pure Eric Dubay, how he's claiming to have founded the Flat Earth movement based on his deep understanding, and then only later caught up with these books by Robotham and the original Flat Earthers from the 1860s. Although every single concept that I've ever heard him present has been an almost word for word rendition of something from Parallax back in the 1860s. So where he's going from here is he's going to start attacking prominent flat earthers throughout the community. The first one that he's going after is my old friend Mark Sargent and his Flat Earth Clues. And it is utterly a fascinating insight into how Eric is looking at Mark, what his opinion of his quote-unquote clues are, the fact that he seems to basically mock Mark the entire time. It's a very interesting episode, and I hope that you'll tune in for it. In the meantime, this is Bob the Science Guy, and I'm signing out from northern Michigan, which I might add is right there on our nice spherical Earth. And I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.
This rabbit hole's too deep.